Hello friends, this is Jaspreet. Welcome to my channel, A Voyage into Crypto Metaverse. Today I'm going to talk about Ethereum. So before I dive in, just a little disclaimer, none of this is financial advice. It is only for fun, entertainment, and education. So let's just dive in. So what is Ethereum? Basically, Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization. It is programmable money. So what do I mean by programmable money? Bitcoin is money as you know it, and you can send Bitcoin uh, to from one address to another address. That is pretty much what you can do with Bitcoin. But with Ethereum actually introduces the concept of smart contracts, which means that you can write code and you can run that code onto the blockchain, and which allows for creation of these decentralized applications. And also it allows for the creation of tokens. And also there is another very interesting aspect of it, which is the NFTs, the non-fungible tokens, which have become a craze these days. So let's move on. So in 2016, Ethereum was introduced, and these guys were the co-founders: Vitalik Buterin, Gavin Wood, Anthony, Charles Hoskinson, Joseph Lubin. And uh, Gavin Wood and Charles Hoskinson have moved on, and they have started their own projects. So Gavin Wood started Polkadot, and Charles started with ADA. So Ethereum, it uses a proof of work algorithm very similar to Bitcoin. It has a transaction speed of 13 TPS, transactions per second, and then the block frequency is 30 seconds. So it is much, much faster as compared to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's block frequency is 10 minutes as compared to Ethereum, which is just 30 seconds. And the block reward is 3 Ethereum. So 3 Ethereum are rewarded for each block that gets mined. So again, the smart contracts are written in a programming language called Solidity. And also Ethereum code, the smart contracts run on the Ethereum virtual machine called the EVM. So all of the nodes, they are running the EVM, and they are running the smart contracts, and they have that consensus algorithm running, which where they agree on the state of the blockchain. So Ethereum started with the initial coin offering in 2016, also called an ICO. So it is very similar to an IPO. So they raised 150 million US dollars. So soon after that ICO, when Ethereum started, actually a very big event happened in the Ethereum history, which was the DAO hack. So a hacker was able to steal 50 million DAO tokens, and as a result, there was a big controversy over what to do with that hack. There were two schools of thought there. So one was that to roll back the blockchain, which is actually against the ethics of blockchain, ethics of decentralization and permissionlessness. So and another school of thought, which says code is law. So if the code had the bug, so that got exploited, so the hacker just executed the code. So nothing wrong with that. So let them steal the money, and but not change anything, because these there should not be so it should not require any permissions, and it should be permissionless, decentralized. No one should control it. So that's what happened, and uh, the community got split in these two groups, and then uh, so they were not able to decide. So actually what happened later was that uh, both of these took place. So a hard fork happened, which actually split the network into two. So on one network, it was the hack was rolled back. So the blockchain was rolled back, and then that the blocks where the hack happened were discarded. But on the other chain, which continued with the history where that block happened, which had that hacked transaction and all that. So that became the Ethereum Classic blockchain, and the one which rolled back became the Ethereum blockchain. So Ethereum Classic still exists, but it's a kind of ghost chain, so no one is basically using it, but it still exists. It's very similar. It's to Ethereum. It has proof of work algorithm and all that. It has its own community and developers and all that, but it's a different chain now to Ethereum. So let's keep going. So Ethereum, because of all of its functionality of smart contracts, NFTs, and tokens, it has certain scaling issues because of that, because it actually got a lot of adoption. A lot of projects launched their tokens on Ethereum, and also a lot of decentralized applications are running on top of it, sending a lot of transactions on the blockchain. So it is kind of becoming a world computer, which is processing a lot of these smart contracts, a lot of these transactions, and these NFTs and all that. So whenever there is such a event happens, whenever there is a big initial coin offering, or whenever there is a big NFT drop or NFT mint, so what happens is that the Ethereum blockchain actually starts choking. So what do I mean by choking? It actually so Ethereum works in a way that when there is a high load on it, when there is a lot of transaction going on it, so what happens is that the gas actually increases. So what is gas? You pay a little transaction fee when you execute any transaction on the Ethereum blockchain. So that is called the gas fees. So when these events happen, when there is a big initial coin offering going on, or there is an NFT mint going on, so this gas fees actually rises quite significantly. So sometimes you may be required to pay hundreds of dollars to just run one transaction on Ethereum. So that is the scaling issue. So Vitalik Buterin has talked about this a few times. He has written some good papers on it, and basically it's the blockchain trilemma. So what happens there is that so you have this triangle which has decentralization, scalability, and security. So whenever you want to work on one, so you want to increase scalability, what happens is that you need to compromise on either decentralization or security. So that's what it is. So it's very hard problem to solve. So but let's look at what's happening with Ethereum 2.0. So because of this proof of work algorithm, it's not very efficient, and also it uses a lot of energy, it uses a lot of computing power, and it uses a lot of it requires a lot of hardware. So uh, Vitalik Buterin actually proposed proof of stake algorithm a few years back, and then this has actually caught up so there are other chains that are actually already using proof of stake consensus algorithm. So Ethereum actually is moving to proof of stake algorithm. So with its 2.0 version. So what's happening there is that once this proof of stake consensus algorithm is adopted, so it will result in the end of the proof of work mining, and also the emissions are going to be much lower as compared to the current emissions of 3 Ethereum per block. So so initially it was thought that, okay, let's just do the migration from Ethereum 1.0 to 2.0 in one big bang. So later on, which is a very complex process. So later on it was decided that, okay, let's split it up into uh, multiple milestones. So first thing that needs to happen is the beacon chain. So which actually was launched in December 2020, and which started the proof of stake consensus algorithm on a separate chain. So now that chain needs to merge with the main chain, which is still running on the proof of work algorithm. So that merge is supposed to happen sometime in 2022. And once that happens, that will mark the end of proof of work mining and the start of proof of stake consensus algorithm and all that. And and the next step forward is the sharding. So sharding basically is you actually cut the blockchain into multiple shards, and then the processing happens in each shard, and then you combine them, and then you come to the main chain. So that is sharding. So this is the way Ethereum plans to scale. So thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you, guys.
Proof of stake is hard, but what I do know is when we learn a shard, we'll change the whole game, though.
E2.0, yo! E2.0!